I just start throwing down, man. Moves after move, move. I ran around just like he does when he's 10 people up. I ran around and he just standing around like, oh, where'd this guy go? Ran around, bro. When I stopped, the crowd is going bonkers, bro. Bonkers. Yeah. My boys is like, yeah, that's my man right there. That's my man right there. The crowd is screaming out, bravo, bravo. And he goes like, yo, man, your shit is nice, bro. What's your name? I looked around. I'm like, you don't hear everybody screaming out, bravo? I'm Bravo.
Today is Monday, December 4th, 2023. Yep. Who are we speaking with?
Bravo Browns LaFortune from Brooklyn, New York.
Where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Haiti, 1962. I came to New York when I was 6. Grew up in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. Spent a lot of time in Crown Heights. Then moved over to Flatbush. Did some time in Clinton Hills. Then moved back to Flatbush. So I've been here like about 50-something years in New York City.
What kind of music did you hear growing up around the house?
Man, you know, it's I speak French, I speak Creole. I learned how to speak English when I was 6. So Haitians are very versatile when it comes to music. But with a name like Brahms, go figure. A lot of classical. Definitely the 2 major sounds from Haiti, which is compa and the rara. So there's a lot of rhythms in both of them. So I've been badass since I was about 6 in terms of what I listened to. I didn't get into any funk, soul, R&B, any of that until 1969 when I came to New York. Yeah. So I got to hear still. I already had a whole bunch of music inside of me. You know, Charles Aznavour, Edith Piaf, Tabu Combo, all the Haitian bands. I started dancing real young. I started dancing like 6, just jamming around. You know, my pops was like a crazy carnival dude, man. That guy danced his fucking ass off, man. Am I allowed to curse on this thing? I'm sorry.
Of course, yeah. Curse all you want.
So, and then I have an older brother who's 10 years older than me. He dances his ass off too. So I just watch, man. I just watch and the energy. I watch the energy that people, when people watch them, and I made sure I captured that. You know, so that's why, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm ready to start a party when nobody's there. I'm ready to dance when there's no music, you know, because I already got that embedded in me since I was like 6, 7, 8 years old.
Describe the ideal relationship between dancer and DJ.
Oh my gosh, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. But one thing, you don't find too many DJs, well, back then, that are dancers. DJs just like people. I like music. I just like to play music. It's almost like photographers. Photographers like to take pictures, but they don't like nobody taking their picture.
That's nice. Yep.
Oh, yeah, man. I noticed that because when people are taking my picture, and I always tell them, oh, man, what kind of camera is that? Can I take a picture of you?
Everything. Yeah, that's
everything gets
the whole conversation. Yeah.
Oh, what do you want to take a picture of me for? It's like, no, I didn't ask you to give me $1. I just want to take a picture of you. They're like, but they want to be all up in your face, you know.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way as a photographer.
Yeah. So again, it's a beautiful thing because cats show up. You know, they want to make sure like you got all the joints I want to hear, right? Okay, good. I'm gonna stay. You know, so it's weird. You know, you got that whole, if you don't play what I like, they're gonna be trouble. You know, I'm taking everybody with me, or you know, something like that. It's pretty interesting, you know, between then and now.
At what age did you start going out clubbing?
Early, bro. Because again, like I said, my older brother, he's 10 years older than me. Haiti's most famous band, they're like the equivalent of the Rolling Stones. These guys now, they're up to 55 years, if not more, about 55 years. The first album came out in 1968. And my older brother, he hung with them.
What's the name of the band?
Tabu Combo. They're the #1 band, Haitian band in the world. Hands down. That's not just my opinion because they come from my neighborhood. They started the band when they were like 16, 17, 18. Used to take me to kindergarten. It don't even have anything to do with that. But just the fact that they're just badass. These guys rock, man. And my brother happens to be in their contemporary. They all know each other. And he was their dancer. He was the guy that revved shit up back in the late 60s, early 70s. And by the time I was 12, yeah, they were already dragging me along. Nobody had a problem with this little kid, being around because they already knew me. So I was around all that rhythm and all that jamming around and watching people get down. So yeah, I'd say by the time 12, I was already in their clubs, not the clubs, their clubs. Again, this is a Haitian thing. We didn't even get to the Americans yet.
Oh. Explain the difference between Haitian clubs and American clubs.
Well, again, Haitian clubs, all the Haitians are there. That's all the Haitians you know. American clubs, people coming from all kind of boroughs and all kind of whatever. But the Haitian clubs is Haitians.
Understood. Do
You
you
can't
remember?
stop because they start dropping names and they're gonna find out by Tuesday. They're gonna find out who started the fight, who started trouble, who was cursing who. Whereas Americans would be like, it's Americans. Yeah, and plus they're playing. It's a live band. The band takes a break. They play some music and a little bit of music for 15, 20 minutes, and then the band goes back again jamming.
Tell me a story about Studio 54.
Wow. Studio 54 was the first spot that by the time I was 19, my 1920, maybe, yeah, 1920. Because all the cats already knew I was kind of dangerous in the neighborhood when it comes to dancing. Like you couldn't take me to a house party. They always asked me to leave. But I had smoked that place out, man. They'd be like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? What's he on? But I had a lot of energy. Because everybody back in the days, you put on your Pierre Cardin and your Sergio Valente, don't forget, it wasn't that whole loose underground shit. We talking, you get dressed, 3 gold chains, Saturday Night Fever style kind of stuff. And man, I show up, man, you couldn't play one record. Usually there's such thing called wallflower. Everybody waits till it warms up, 3, 4 hours. I'm already moving like I'm crazy. And some of the older guys, they were 5. I'm always hanging out with people older than me, 5, 6, 8 years older than me. These guys were hitting the city. And they kept saying, yeah, we got to take you over. We got to go. We got to take you to Studio 54. And we had a very good friend of ours, brother by the name of Pierre Colas. He's Haitian. And he comes from the Haitian scene, but more Americanized. And he was already at Studio. So the guys, they all grew up with him and they said, yo, we're going to take you up to Studio 54. Pierre's over there. They'll let you in. We can get in and, you can act a fool because all the crazy people are at Studio 54. I was like, all right, no problem. Don't forget, I'm the youngest. So like, yo, we're going to go over there. We bust all your moves. Just make sure we can see you because it's crazy. We don't know. We don't want to lose you. Just make sure we can see where you at. Bust your moves. And, all the chicks come by. They start talking to you. Just let them know you're with us. This way we get the chicks and you keep busting your moves. I was like, all right, no problem. I'm like a hitman, bro. Don't forget, I got all these idols. These guys are older than me. I want to be like them so bad. And we go. So we go to Studio 54. Place was like Cirque du Soleil, man, of discotheques. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sound system, lights, people. Everybody's just extra with the partying. Extra. Huge place, man. Beautiful. Like a dream. Like you had a dream. You close your eyes and you open your eyes like, oh man, I'm not dreaming. This is good. So they let me loose in there, man. They let me loose in there like a Jack Terrier, bro. I went in, they start playing all this music, the disco. You hear disco on the radio, that's one thing. But when you go to a club, I mean, we're talking massive Richard Long sound system at that. And everybody's dancing, doing their disco dancing, whatever. Then off on the side, there's this huge circle. There's this brother in there by the name of Amar. I'm into freestyle. I watch. If I see people freestyling, when you go to little parties or in the park, I'm going to sit there and watch. I'm going to watch, bro. I'm going to watch like nobody's business. And this guy, muscular, he's had an energy. the kind of energy that I didn't know I possessed, but I figured I needed. I'm watching this guy, and he's terrorizing everybody. Whoever, everybody want to come in and do a little something, a little shimmy, act like Michael Jackson, all this bullshit. But Amar, man, this guy just busts moves, and he's clapping. He's screaming out, bro. Next! Whoever comes in, everybody who comes in that big ass, I mean, we're talking not a small circle. This thing is huge, off on the side. And the guys keep telling me, like, yo, man, I mean, I'm hanging out with like 4 guys that are older than me. These guys are just drugs and chicks, man, drugs and chicks. And they're like, yo, you need to get in there, man, handle that. And, I come from Brooklyn, man. You don't just get in and handle nothing, man. I don't know nobody here. This guy's nice. I don't need 2 pair of lungs to get down with this guy. I'm watching. I'm like, this dude is nice. All those other clowns that jump in, they just jump in because they're stupid. I'm like, man, this guy's real good. Real good. Because about 7 years before that, maybe more, about 7 years before that, when I was in junior high school, I had gotten burnt real bad in junior high school. Real bad. We forget studio. That's when I was like, oh, I got to watch it. I was in Brooklyn. Some cats, from the other side of town was getting down at a little school function, one of those things that's like $1 to get in. And these guys was getting down, I went to Catholic school, bro. And these guys are getting down, and I just kept looking, and all my friends was like, you better stop looking. That's the guys that take our lunch money every day. I'm going to go back to the Studio 54, but I just want you to know why when my guys told me to jump in that studio, I was like, I've been there before. I've been here before. Y'all don't understand. You guys think I'm nice, but I'm telling you, this dude is badass. So, I'm watching this guy. They getting down. These are all the bad kids from the neighborhood. They play hooky. They go to a different school, and they getting down. I keep staring, man. I'm looking. Music is pumping. We're talking like brass construction. Got myself together. Shit like that. BT Express. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom, doom. I'm watching these guys get down, man. And I kind of like move over, just watching, just watching like this, and they all doing their thing. And one guy said, like, yo, you want some of this? And I was like, oh, no, man, just, I like, yo, man, you look like you want some of this. So they sent their worst guy. He comes step in front of me, start busting some moves. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I can do a little something. I started getting down. I mean, whatever I knew was this much, And then they were like, oh, you think you can get down? All of a sudden, that circle got real tight. And then the best dude came up and bust like 20 moves on me, bro. I turn around to try and walk away. The guy's like, yo, where you think you're going, bro? I'm like, oh, nah, man, you ain't getting out of here. They all took turns, man, busting moves, man. I was just standing there. Shit. I'm like, and then the guy, he looked at me, he said, yo, you're lucky we don't fuck you up. Don't take what you can't handle. Fuck out. Boom. Okay. But now we're looking like 6, 7, 8 years later. Studio 54. So my guy's like, yo, man, get in there, man, get in there. I was like, nah, man. Because I'm having PTSD from. And the guy's like, yo, man, you can take them, man. I'll see you, man. Every time we go to them other parties, when we go to panoramas, when we go to this, you busting moves. I'm like, yeah, man, this guy's a freaking jaguar, bro. They're like, come on, man. And dig this. Everybody's standing around. My guys make little bets with each other, and they all step back 5 steps. I don't even know they did that. I'm just standing there. I'm just watching this dude. And my man's getting down, bro, busting moves, clapping. He's screaming out, next! Mind you, this dude is bad, bro. And he turns around and he looks at me and he says, I've been waiting for you. Could you imagine through a Richard Long sound system? I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not in the middle of the dance floor, we're off on the side. But my man said, I've been waiting for you. I was like, who the hell is he talking to? I turn around, these dudes is 5 steps back, bro. They're like, yo, handle that. I was like, oh no, no. He's like, yo, let's go. Let's go. Let's see what you got, baby. Let's go. It's like, oh, shit. I start throwing down, bro. I start doing every freaking step I've seen, I've learned. I even did his own steps. I did my older brother's steps, my pop steps, steps that I ain't even do yet till this day steps. I was just going nuts, bro. The energy, because I already saw, I've been watching this guy for a few weeks, man. You know, every Saturday, I just sit there and say like, yo, this dude's badass. And I just start throwing down, man. Moves after moves. Move. I ran around just like he does when he's 10 people up. I ran around and he's just standing around like, oh, where'd this guy go? Ran around, bro. When I stopped, the crowd is going bonkers, bro. Bonkers. Yeah. My boys is like, yeah, that's my man right there. That's my man right there. The crowd is screaming out, bravo, bravo. And he goes like, yo, man, your shit is nice, bro. What's your name? I looked around. I'm like, you don't hear everybody screaming out Bravo? I'm Bravo. He was like, yo, it's Bravo, man. You can stay, man. Your shit is nice. You can stay. You down with me. He started clapping and he screamed out, next! Mind you, I'm like, and the dude was like, yo, because they had a nickname for him. They call him the Grand Master. That's between the fellas, you know. They're like, yo, you took out the Grand Master? Oh, shit. Wait till we go back in the neighborhood. You took out the Grand Master. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I did. And ever since then, anytime he sees me, Washington Square Park, Bonington, anytime he sees me, he's like, yo, Bravo, right? What's up, baby? How you doing? You good? Yo, you going to this party? You going to that party? I'm gonna see you at this party. You going to that party? I was like, oh man. And just from that, the energy, it's all about energy. It's all about energy. And really, sometimes I don't want to say it doesn't matter if there's people. I can say that now because I'm at a point, 55 years of this stuff. But it's the energy. The energy has to come from you. Because you have to remember the issue is back then, and even, well, back then, drugs. Cats got to get their fix, man, so they can throw down. You understand what I'm saying? You're not gonna hear anybody say, yo, I drank and I got down. That equation doesn't work, bro. Drugs. You know, these guys are on some shit. And I learned a lot from watching cats that are on stuff that, you know, they need that. I never need that. I'm not a drug person. I never need that. I just study the energy and I can transplant it back. I can just keep generating. Like before solar panels, I'm a solar panel, bro. If it shines on me, I can shine back on it. So that was the whole thing, you know. But studio, and I kept going back, busting moves so much that I started working at studio. Literally, man, cats just came up to me like, hey, you know, you're that dancing guy, right? There's an envelope for you downstairs. I was like, the fuck does that mean? You know, it's Studio 54. You don't know what's going on. You know, I don't have to tell you. You know, if the owners went to jail, that means everybody else is going to jail too. I was like, I ain't going downstairs. You know, like, nah, man, I'm good, bro. You know, and I wound up being friends with a real nice guy. He did the floral arrangements for studio. Brother by the name of Franklin Smith. I haven't seen these people in decades, bro. And he's just, hey, dancer. You know, that was his thing. Hey, dancer. He walk around singing. Whatever song is playing, he walk around singing. I remember Billy Ocean, one of those nights you feel like getting down. You can hear him singing that shit through the system, bro. One of those nights you feel like getting down. You know, hey, dancer, what's going on? And being that I was one of those guys, I show up before the shit opened and after it closed. He kept saying, hey, do me a favor. Can you reach and get that for me? Oh, can you give me a favor? You know, so I became kind of like his assistant in some ways. But I'm the dancing guy. I'm the guy that like, oh, yeah, he's over there. I'm tearing up shop, bro. I'm ripping that place apart. I saw the interview you had with Mike. He had stories. I was laughing, bro, because I know Mike like we're talking right now, real good. He only lives like 4 blocks from me right here. I give you a beautiful story because you say you want stories. Yeah, take that one to bed with you tonight, bro. I'm busting moves. One, I got to watch out for all the gay guys, and then I got to watch out for the drag queens. So Studio 54 had a slew of drag queens, bro. I mean, we talking Vegas style, burlesque. You know, they came out, man. There was like 14, 15 of them. Then you go in the bathroom. That's the thing. Everybody's doing coke. You know, you smell cocktail, you know, which is coke and weed. Put it in the cigarette. But everybody's getting high. Go in the bathroom, man. It's like, you know, you gotta watch your back. Like, yo, you're too close, you know. But you can't act like you're in the hood because it's Studio 54. You know, excuse me, you're too close. And they're like, oh, I'm too close. What's too close? You know, you're like, get the what's too close? Oh, don't, you know, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, then you can't show up anywhere. So I'm busting moves. I'm all around the place. I'm everywhere, bro. Busting moves, dancing. Corner of my eye. Like I said, Studio 54 is an old theater without the seats. In the, you know, that first orchestra and all that, no seats, bro. So that's the whole dance floor and the lounge. And then you have upstairs tiers, VIP all the way up. Keep feeling somebody's looking up, left, front, back. My boys is like, yo, see that lady in the red dress? She's checking you out, man. I was like, But I, you know, again, that wasn't my thing. You know, I didn't go to pick up chicks. I go to bust moves, man. Steal moves, bust moves, just dance. I'm like, I'm a dancer. I freestyle. That's my shit. I freestyle. What's that? Watch me. So this chick is looking. I'm like, shit. And the thing is come from Brooklyn, you're thinking, oh wow, you can get discovered. I don't have Hollywood syndrome or I want to be something syndrome. I don't care. But I'm looking. Like, yeah, all right, I see it. You know, because you know, cats is picking up chicks left and right. You know, guys is going home with the wrong chicks. You know, with the drag queens. You hear stories next week. Yo, that's the dude. Nobody told me. You know, I was like, oh, you didn't ask, bro. So I'm thinking, all right, she looks normal. She's not 8 feet tall. You know, because I'm 6'4". I've been 6'4" since I was 14. I'm like, at least this motherfucker ain't taller than me, because usually they'd be like, hi, how you doing? You know, you're already 6'4". What are you doing with 7-inch heels on, you know? And then there's a lot of cologne, they're extra. But I'm like, oh shit, that's a real person. That's a person. That's a lady. Interesting. I'm busting moves, sweating, bro. But by now, you know, I'm comfortable at studio, you know? Everybody's like, hey, dancer. Hey, can I dance with you? Yeah. This chick walks up to me, bro, just stands in front of me. She said, all in red. When I say red, red shoes, red stockings, red dress, red pocketbook, little pocketbook, red earrings, red something in her hair. Damn. You know, and she just says, hi, how you doing? I've been watching you. I was like, oh. I'm like, what is it, this? I've been watching you shit around here. I got this guy. I've been waiting for you. This one, I'm watching you. Like, everybody's watching me. And she says, this, mind you, the place is jumping. You know, music, lights, you know, all that shit, and like this. It feels like this, you know. And she said, see, I wasn't going to tell the story until I heard Mike's story, but it's not as good as Mike's. And she says, tonight I turned 50. Yo, this is 1981, bro. Think about it. I'm like 20, bro. 1981. She said, tonight I turned 50. I'm an ex-Rockette. I was like, oh, shit. And then she said, you're coming home with me. And she hands me her fucking car keys, bro. And I'm like, no. She's like, I'm sorry, what? Mind you, lights, clubbing. I'm like, no. She's like, I beg your pardon. Look at me. You know, ta-da. You know? I was like, okay, and you know, I'm like, damn, I'm gangster. I was like, wait a minute. Mind you, the fellas is like, oh shit, they talking like, yo, you gonna take that? You gonna go with, you know, they're already like, yeah, these guys are older than me. I'm like, no, you're not my type. She's like, are you gay? I was like, no, you're just not my type. She's like, I cannot believe I've been watching you all night and I get up the courage to walk up to you and invite you to my home. I'm 50 tonight. New York to myself and you. And I was like, no, it's not going to happen. She's like, you're going to embarrass me by just having me walk away? I was like, same way you came up to me, same way you just walk away. Mind you, through all the music, through all, the way it's happening, I'm not going to tell you you have to be there, but nobody in their right mind says no, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the fellas is like, yo, why's this conversation look a little weird, So she walks away, pissed off in the whole bit. And the fellas is like, yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, man, she trying to give me freaking keys to a car, tell them, meet me outside, she's gonna take me home. And like, oh, you going? I was like, hell no, I'm not going. They're like, yo, you out of your mind, she's gonna think you gay. Da, da, da. But I was like, I don't care what she thinks, I ain't going. So I was like, no. And they're like, oh man, come on, bro. We ain't bring you here for that. We will, keep you away from the gay guys and the drag queens, but if it's a normal person, jump on it. I was like, nah, man, I ain't here for that. And then they kind of like, yo, this guy actually just comes here to dance. Unbelievable, So now I got real cool with a lot of the drag queens because they got the flavor. They like the flavor, because I'm not trying to dance like I'm throwing down, bro. I'm going in. And I wind up being asked to do like we have VIP left and right, all the way up. That's where all the action happens, bro. That's that crazy. It's dark up there, bro. So you got people that have VIP passes, then you have people that have extra kind of like connections that they can go up, and I let them in. Me or another dude on the other side. And all these cocaine heads or guys that think they're fly, they're downstairs. When I say down, we're talking this thing is 4 or 5 stories up, man. It's an actual movie theater. And they'll pick up some chicks on the bar, and they come up the stairs with them. When they come up the stairs, they slip you some blow, they slip you pills, they slip you a 20, which a 20 is a lot of money, bro, in 1980, 81. That's like money. Yo, hey, my man, how you doing? And you're like, oh no, this guy got a drag queen, and I know he don't know because he looks too happy. No, because they come up, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, guy? How you doing? How you doing, babe, guy? All that, Holly weird shit. And they slip you something, so they're gonna go. Once you walk in, there's like a spotlight on a big floral thing, another spotlight on the big floral thing. Unless you walk by that shit, you don't see anybody. It's dark. It's freaking dark, like candle dark, And Cats is up there doing whatever, man. Big, huge couches, man. You see legs up. You're like, yeah, we know what's going on over there. Just weird shit. It's not a casual thing. This is action going on. And most of the time, it would happen about 3, 4 times a night. The guys that come up, you see them 5 minutes tops. Run back down, bro. Run. When I say run, if the guy don't come running, then I'm like, he either knows and that's his thing. He don't know. He's just so stupid and drunk. Maybe he's getting a hand job. Maybe he's getting a blow. Who the hell knows? But sometimes you see cats just like jump. Oh, just like, like Super Mario Brothers. You see the guy going down. He's laughing. You see the guy going down. Like I said, they went up a lot of steps, to go all the way up. But you see them like Benny Hill. And the drag queen will come, Samantha, Eileen, Elizabeth. They got all these, like I said, a whole bunch, man. Big feet motherfuckers with sandals on. And you see them come out, oh, that didn't go too good. I'm like, well, I think I spooked him. Oh, what's wrong with her? So, I didn't ask to come up here. Like, so, that was a whole studio thing. That had nothing to do with the dancing, man. So actually, when I had to work, it was no fun. I was just like the better jumping around downstairs, terrorizing people. But once I was busy just taking it in, all the riffraff and just the dumb shit that was going on, But that's my Studio 54 story. I got the name Bravo there, and the recognition of just being like, this guy's a real fucking dancer, because nobody can come over there and think they can do whatever without having to deal with me or Mr. Amar, and he was still busy yelling out next, man, And believe it or not, the whole next thing, I started doing that like 5 years later. When I started running the circles, I was screaming out, oh, next! By then, I'm older and I got new guys coming in, trying to bust moves, but it was different. Me watching him tear up people at Studio 54, these are clowns, man. It's people that just want to like jump around and, oh, look at me, I'm dancing. But I literally had to put in check a whole bunch of real dancers, real freestylers, cats that were coming in. Because I worked for Mike Stone Productions, and he's the one that had Studio 54. And once we left Studio 54, we went down to Bonds International. This is Mr. DJ Kenny Carpenter.
I want to go to Bonds. Before you go to Bonds, explain the difference between White Studio 54 and Mike Stone Studio 54.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you said that. Actually, there's about 4 Studio 54s, if you ask me.
Oh, please explain, break it down for people, please.
Yeah. You had the 77, 78, 80 Studio 54. That's the original. That's the cocaine, money in the ceiling. That's how they got busted. That's why they went to jail, because none of that money ever made it to the bank. Never left the building. They just kept the money, That's what they went to jail for tax. For tax. Not even the drugs. That was the actual Studio 54. That was the one with the Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger's, the horse, the lady on the horse, which is, I think, Bianca Jacka came in on the horse. All of that stuff. Then, once the guys went to jail, all the happy hoopla was kind of going away. Liza Minnelli, all that. Mick Jagger, Sylvester Stallone, you name it. All of that was going away. And now they needed to fill that whole spot up. So Mike Stone was busy running shit at a club called Melons on 17th Street and 3rd and 4th Avenue. That was hot. That was awesome, man. You take an elevator, that shit opens, the elevator opens, voila, partying, baby. This the Timmy Regisford, Boy Jarvis time. Mike Stone was asked to come over because he had the crowd. He can pack that shit up. So once he went over there at studio, then we were, to me, the second generation. That's the Studio 54. Now you're looking at the music is different. It still got disco, but you got, you're listening to a lot of quality stuff.
Do you remember who the DJs were during your era?
I beg your pardon?
Do you remember who the DJs were during your era there?
Like I said, when we came in, it was Kenny Carpenter. All those other guys with the mustache and the sideburns, those disc jockeys, those guys are called disc jockeys. I know I didn't get none of those guys. I got Kenny Carpenter. I got Kenny Carpenter 10 o'clock to 8 in the morning. 10 p.m., 8 a.m. We walk out, the sun was shining, bro. Shining. And then after we left, then you start to get your more commercial. KTU got a piece of that. There was some other stuff. At one time, even Larry played at Studio 54, believe it or not. That's when it was. Now they're announcing stuff on the radio because they're just trying to keep it up. The guys are in jail. The main guys are in jail. So now you got commercialized, and then you have people like, oh, I went to Studio 54. I'm like, yeah, right. But we were the second generation. They were still picking people at the door. There was still a couple of star-ish kind of people floating around, cocaine, that whole shebang. But and then became very commercialized. Once I started meeting people that's 20 years younger than me, and so I went to Studio 54. I'm like, get out of here. You know, that was all. That was just the building. That wasn't the essence of no.
So well said. So tell us about Bonds International. What is it? Where is it? Tell us a
Bonds,
story about Bonds International.
Bonds, Studio 54 was on 54th and Broadway. Bonds was down a ways. Bonds is 43rd, 43rd and Broadway. Bonds International used to be a huge department store. Escalator, elevator, it was upstairs. And we got that. When we got Bonds a few weeks or months after the Clash performed there. They had a big concert in '81 at Bonds. And then we just, like, yo, we're going to Bonds. It's a big place, but, my mic had the whole Puerto Ricans, the blacks, the whites. We had the mailing list for all of those people. Everybody wanted to hang. It was, to me, Bonds was the junior high school of clubbing. Yeah, junior high school. And it wasn't even high school. It was just junior high school. Then it became motherfuckers that can't graduate junior high school. That's what I feel there was. No insults to my people, but that's what it was. Everybody was young. You hear people that was 18, some people, I snuck in at 15, 16. You're not going to get 25 at Bonds. Nah. So that's why we had so many. We were packing that place like 3,000 people, man. The mailing was 10,000 because the rule is you send out 100 flyers, you expect 5 people. So we would do 10,000 mailing. We had a badass mailing list, man, all 5 boroughs. And you get all the acts. That's the other thing. I got to see all the acts. Any record you listen to, whatever people call classics, they weren't classics. They just came out. Secret Rapid, Must Be the Music, Modern Romance, Can You Move? I've seen them all, man. All of them. But I also got to see the Ashford and Simpsons, the stuff like that, the upper crust. I got to see those at Studio 54. Unlimited Touch. I hear music in the street. Yeah. Clear. You better get tough, kid. So we get to see all of that. But so Bonds, now you got like this all the boroughs is coming together. No hip hop. Excuse me. This has got nothing to do with hip hop. This is free freestyle music. Free freestyle music. The D Train, you got the D Trains. Beautiful stuff, man. Crazy. Jocelyn Brown. That was a big deal if you get people, Jocelyn Brown, Sharon Red. If you get that, you're like, whoa, crazy, And it was just every Saturday, just packed, man. When I say packed, the line around the corner down the block packed. Everybody's trying to hang. Everybody's trying to hang. It's the junior high school. And then you get the word, you start to see between the drug dealers and the older cats that are like, yo, I'm on my way to the garage. I'm on my way to the loft. You start to hear these things now. You start to hear that. All the older guys, they're still talking Buttermilk Bottom, Nickel Bar. These are all the spots, man. These are all the spots, but these are not straight spots, man. These are gay spots, Better Days. That's all. Once you're talking underground, it's gay. It's gay. And then when we left Bonds, things didn't go too good for Mike because he was floating all over the place. We started getting smaller clubs and smaller clubs and smaller clubs. And by then, dance-wise, people always used to say to me at Bonds, the Bonds was huge, man. When I say huge, it looked like they were holding a gymnastic events. That's how big that place was. Big. And cats was like, oh, man, you should go to the loft. You dance just like those guys from the loft. That's when that word started coming into my ear. Thursdays, we used to do Brooklyn Panorama. Then once we closed up at Bonds, David Morales had the Ozone Layer in Brooklyn. And he brought in Kenny Carpenter because Kenny already had a crowd. So David wanted to, cash in on that. And that's Brooklyn. So we did that. We started hanging. I worked at the Ozone as well. I worked at a lot of clubs. And then I worked at the Roxy. That's hip hop. I work at the Roxy, and my man Amar, believe it or not, hanging out at West Fourth was like, yo, uh, you want to do some work, man, some security, you know, because it's all kids. There's a whole bunch of kids. There was like 60 of us at the Roxy. And I just, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh my God, because it was all hip hop, just all hip hop, man. That was the Bambata, Zulu Nation, Jazzy Jeff, that Jazzy J, not the French Prince guy, Jazzy J, Africa Islam, that whole posse, man. Before they even did the movie Beat Street, uh, any of those things, VHS, all this, they're starting to get work, you know, this B-boy stuff. But it was a weird thing because I'm like, man, I'm too old to hang around these people, but it's work. Then the Roxy's turned into 1018. 1018 means 10th Avenue, 18th Street. There was so much violence at the Roxy's. Then the cops would always have to come, sometimes the SWAT team, and then they just changed the name because the neighborhood was bitching about it. And I got to do that. Now, working there, I used to hang out record shops because I used to be a DJ, 78 and all that. I go to record shops, you hang out. That's like people go to barbershop to find out what's going on. You go to record shop if you're into music, DJs and all that shit. And this was the Music Factory on Fulton Street in Brooklyn. And there's these two brothers, Donnie, and I forgot the other gentleman's name. They did a remake produced by Arthur Baker of Eddie Grant's Walking on Sunshine. And all the record shops have the guy that plays the music all day. That's a brother by the name of Mario Baskin, who was the DJ for the Talk of the Town in Brooklyn. And I hang over there, just hang. I got real tight with them. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're doing the Roxy this Saturday. I was like, oh, man, I work at the Roxy. They're like, oh, wow, where? I was like, yo, you guys need a dancer? I bust some moves from y'all, because I like the song. They're like, what? Really? I was like, yeah, man, no problem. I just, I'll already be there. And they came to perform when they were doing it up, and they were like, yo, we got our dancer. I'm sure some of y'all know Bravo. And everybody like, what? Bravo? So I got up and just busting moves. This is a hip hop place. This is B-boys, locking, not locking, popping, robot, whatever they call that stuff. And I'm up there, busting some shit, some freestyle. And everybody's like, oh man, yo, this dude moves, And again, because of earlier with Bonds, when everybody kept saying you dance like those guys from Bonds, from the garage, from the loft, I'm sorry. And I'm like, one time, everybody gets high. When I say get high, these motherfuckers are on pills, bro. So in other words, you take a pill at 3:00 in the morning, that thing's gonna kick in before 4. Some people 3:30. They're gonna be wired till 8, 9 in the morning, man. They're just bouncing around. And I was like, they said, yo, you should come to the loft with us. We're talking 8:00 in the morning, 7, 8:00 in the morning. Don't forget, they partying. I work there. There's a difference between working at a club and hanging at the club. I just listen to music all night, but I was like, oh, yeah, I'm done, bro. Anyway, so one morning, me and two of my guys, my favorite guys, I always got guys, I had, believe it or not, at one time, there were the Bravettes. Nobody knows about that. I had about like 3 or 4 Latin chicks. One time they just showed up and they'd be like, yo, we're the Bravettes. Just like that. T-shirt say Bravettes. I'm like, and mind you, everybody's like, yo, what the fuck is a Bravette? I was like, I have no idea. But they liked the way I dance. They watch me all the time. And they just decided, I guess, people trying to be hip, popular, let's hang out, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Influence without knowing it, the Bravettes. I've never told this story. So they just watch me dance. But mind you, I feel like from working so much in the clubs, I watch so many people dance, listen, that it's easy for me to produce music, DJ, dance, because you understand what I'm saying? I'm just like, what the hell, And I like that story because I don't know if you've seen the movie Tap with Sammy Davis Jr., Gregory Hines, and Savion Glover. He was real young, the movie Tap. And again, he works at a dance school. You know, you always hear these stories. Fred Astaire, his sister, they send his sister to dance school. They didn't send him, but he goes to pick her up and he's got to wait and he watches. So I got one of those stories. You know, I feel like that, you know, because it's always, you know, an issue. You know, how you do music and you didn't study music? How do you do this and you didn't study that? Because, you know, you got to remember back in our days, I don't know how old you are, but there was no DJ school. Now you got DJ Academy. It's like, what? You know, all of this stuff here, you know. I mean, this is a whole, I'm at home. You know, you couldn't have this 30, 40 years ago. You know, this wouldn't even be in a club. It'd be too much for a club. So you know, you just have it. You just do it. You know, once I'm jamming, you know, I get the lights going and all that. Everybody be like, "Yo, what club is that?" I'm like, I don't know. I was home just jamming. So it's in me. You know, that's why, you know, my title is Bravo Club Dancer. I'm a club person. You know, ask me a club question, I got an answer for you. If I don't, I can call somebody 10 years older than me and give it to you. So I go with these two guys from Barnes to the loft. I'll get back to 1018 and Roxy's. So I go, you know, we take the train, our train, we get off at Prince Street. This is 1983, maybe. I'd say about 83, 83, 84, 83. And these guys are nice and high. You know, those are my boy, Tito and Jose. Tito and Jose. And you know, everybody's got on their baggy. You know, you gotta have on your baggies, your Chinese slippers, you know, cut t-shirt. That's the gear, bro. Um I show up, uh, and I'm, you know, they're playing music, and I hear, oh, that's Bravo from Bonds. He's cool. Let him in. You know, even the guys I was with was like, oh shit, you know, we come here every week. We got to pay. And they're like, how many have with you? I was like, two. Oh, come on in. I was like, oh shit. That was Evelyn Santos. I don't know if you know who Evelyn Santos is. Never heard. I worked at Studio 54 with Evelyn Santos. Um, and she's hanging out at the loft, you know, with David up front, you know, with his people, you know, at the front, just chilling. You know, they're the ones like that, people coming in, taking the money and the whole shebang. And, you know, like I said, that's Bravo. When I heard that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Interesting. And the guy's like, yo, you got a guest list here? Mike Stone had a guest list in just about every major club, you know, you can imagine. If you know, you come in, oh, he's from Mike Stone production. I didn't even know that. And I walked inside. When I walked inside the loft, they were playing the theme from Soul Train, which I get MFSB, dun, 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 the whole thing. See, I don't know if you ever heard the whole thing. That's some serious music, bro. That's some serious. When I say serious, because one, it's an orchestra, and you spend half of your life hearing this thing on TV, which is only 45 seconds. You understand what I'm saying? So now I walk into this place. Orchestration changes. Let's get it on. Time to get. I'm like, holy shit. And everybody's in there. Everybody's in there just, nobody's like just kind of like doing a 1, 2 or 3, 4. They are, I mean, you could put these people on the sticky pad and they would still, it just goes to show you, got nothing to do with my feet, got nothing to do, just freedom. Just, it's time to get down. Then you the horns. I'm like, damn, I've never heard this whole thing before. I'm like, what kind of party is this that they play a theme song from Soul Train, the whole thing? But the way it made me feel, I was like, yo, mind you, I'm Brooklyn. That album, when I got my hands on it, technically, I already had the damn thing and didn't even know, because you only play Love Is the Message. It's on the same album. Did you know that? Right. Yeah. That MFSB album, there's a couple of them, but there's one that opens up like this. The theme from Soul Train is on the same album as Love Is the Message. I'm like, holy shit. Because in Brooklyn, if you don't play Love is a Message, they're going to shoot your shit up. But now I'm trying to, you understand? It's like graduating from grape juice to wine, you know? You're like, ew, this sucks. But then you start to appreciate, oh, yeah, you can have it with chicken, white wine. So you get the appreciation. This is a music thing. This is nobody's going to school. You just waking up just like that, like, oh, shit. And then when it finished, this is upstairs. I didn't even go downstairs yet. This is upstairs at the loft. Balloons, it's dark, the whole ceiling. You can't even see the ceilings. All these huge ass balloons, like this big. The thing finishes, everybody's like applaud, literally applauding. And I'm thinking, what just happened? Why are they applauding? Talking, conversation. Yo, what's up? You good? Blah, 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 blah. Now, next song is coming up. Nothing goes bang or no mixing, no nothing. Just another song. One finished, fade out, just like You Home. And somebody puts a needle on the record. The next song, dig this. You ready? The theme from Sanford and Son. Doom, 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 doom. Put the down, brown. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, this is good. Hey, what kind of bullshit is this? Yo, what the hell's going on in here? No, because, you know, at Bond's studio, you know, we talking Casey and the Sunshine Band, Billy Ocean, you know, they're hitting you with, you know, you hear it on the radio, they're hitting you with stuff. Whereas these things, they come down, and now the next song, it's the theme from Sanford and Son. Again, if you listen to the whole thing, the musicality is to die for. I mean, you're like, holy, it just got you, you know, you ain't thinking about a step, bro. This got nothing to do with, oh, show me a step. You know, what's the style of dancing do you do to this? No, man. You're fucking just going, boom. And you do stuff off beat, on beat, double beat, triple beat. You just, and I'm watching these people get it in. I was like, oh shit. But I said to myself, what am I going to do with this? I'm feeling good. What am I going? Because once you leave the block, you know, you got to go back to Brooklyn. We got to go back to Rick James. You know, super freak. She's super freaky. Whoa, whoa, you know. I'm like, yo, I never heard the whole freaking song. And then my guys is like, yo, let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. These guys are wired, bro. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. Let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. I'm like, this place got a downstairs? We go downstairs, dude. It is bright like a freaking department store. No disco lights, no nothing. Just a whole bunch of people down there sweating they balls off. It's like the gym, bro. Sweating, rolling around the floor, baby powder all over the place. I was like, that's a Big Wheel. You know, remember Big Wheel, the kids' toys? I saw a kid fly by. Oh, this kid, motherfucker might have been like 8, 7 years old, fly by, literally, like, phew. I was like, oh, what's this? I got a nursery down here, and these guys are busting moves. They standing, facing each other, having conversation, dancing, carrying on. Everybody's just, but you can tell everybody's on something. Everybody. And my guys was like, yo, man, this is the loft, man. Look at these guys. They dance just like you. Mind you, I am looking at the City Steppers. Mike Dungy, Greg Seeley, Doc, Rick, Willie Pindu, Doc, yeah? Archie Burnett, This brother by the name of Stephen Enrique. Him and Archie were like this. Harry, Fela, Kitty. There's 2 kitties. I'm like, holy shit, they're all here. This is it. They're all here. All the misfits, all the badass freaking dancers, all the people that don't need music, that know what a tambourine sounds like and feels like, what it makes you do. I was like, oh shit. But again, Brooklyn, baby, I'm just gonna stand back in the cut and watch. My guys is jumping around and I'm doing my little something, something. There's a Bravo thing. It's not even my thing, but being that it comes from my dad and my brother, when I do it, it looks like it's my thing. It's different than what everybody else is doing. Everybody's getting down. I got this little footwork going. And all of a sudden, Rick walks up to me. Hey, what are you doing here? The rest of the gang is like, yo, man, don't listen to him, man. He's on something, man. Yo, Rick, leave that guy alone, man. Don't listen to him. Because he picked up on my style. He saw me busting a move. He picked up on it. And my guys is like, oh, yo. These are the top dancers, man. These are the top dancers. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, listen, bro. I'm going to dance from here to that wall. And I want you to keep up with me. I was like, yeah, whatever, bro. He said, you ready? I was like, now everybody's like, oh, shit. And this dude takes off, man. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm like, ha. I'm like, got all this. He slide, and I jump, hop, slide next to him. Plow. Everybody's like, uh-oh. And he turns around. He's like, yeah, all right. Okay. Let's go back. I was like, go ahead, man. Whatever you want to do. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm like, slide. Then he looks at me. He's like, all right, bro, you can stay. It's like, everybody's like, yo, we can stay. My guys are like, yo, we can stay. I'm like, what's up with these dudes, man? What the fuck was that all about? Okay, all right. But then I'm watching them, they got their thing going. They bust moves and clap. That was the shit, Ha! They clap behind their back, under their legs. There's ducks. There's HVAC ducks. Then busting moves, jump up in the air. Blah, blah, blah. Slap the ground. I was like, yo, this place is fucking going on fire. I'm doing my thing. Archie and Steven, they walked up to me. Hey, man, I like that. Can you show us that? I start showing them my little something. Don't belong to me. I got it from my dad and my brother. I start showing them. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. We start talking. Oh, man, I've seen you at Panoramas. I've seen you at the Ozone. Oh, I've seen you here. So the community thing starts happening, the acceptance starts happening. Then, barns closed up. I got hooked up at the Roxy's. The thing at the Roxy's was this. Packed, 2,000-3,000 freaking kids jumping around. Everybody got on their Adidas, spinning on their heads, Rocksteady crew, dynamic breakers, you name it. Everybody, every week they're all there. And I would catch a few people that would just happen to be in town or just happen to be there by mistake. They walk around, you can tell they don't, that's not the place for them. And then they come like, oh, what's a good place around here to go? The garage is closed. And I'm like, the Loft. When I leave here at 5 o'clock, that's where I go. Oh, can I wait for you and you come with me? So I started taking, older people to the Loft. Male, female, couples. Like, yo, I go to the Loft at 6, man. I get off at 5:30. I shoot over to the Loft. Oh, okay. Is it far? Blah, blah, blah. No. And I bring them over. And the thing is, some people, they would go 30 minutes later, they're like, I got to get out of here. This place is crazy. Everybody's on drugs. Everybody's and the music is weird. That's what they would say. The music is weird because it's that old, you're getting, oh man, you're getting Scorpio. Dun, 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 dun. But nobody's doing hip hop stuff to that. They're grooving. We gotta remember, that's the thing. All these early hip hop, beats or songs, this is from the 60s. That's where you got all them funky ass grooves, man. 60s and early 70s. All the songs start, and that's, that was the whole Kool Herc, Bambaataa, all that stuff in the Bronx. They just wanted the beats. They just wanted the beats. They just wanted the beats. Whereas when it came to enjoying the music, this is what I just said, enjoying the music, you're gonna take it from how it was made, the whole band. You're gonna get the whole thing. James Brown, Give It Up, Turn It Loose. That thing comes on, you gotta sit there and enjoy that, man. You gotta sit there and enjoy that. Live at the Apollo. Jimmy Castor, you gotta sit there and enjoy that. Potential. Boom, 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 boom. Oh shit. It's not, just break. No, there was none of that. So there was a certain, again, maturity to that. Being a loft head, being a loft person. See, that get lost. I'm going to take you into a little deep thing there. You might have had that question, maybe not. Because again, as a dance teacher, instructor, and the whole shebang, and what do you remember? It wind up being a big mistake made when all these dance styles start getting named and taught, that they wind up throwing one in, lofting. And that's not good. I'm the only person that's like, hold up, where y'all get that shit from? Oh yeah, when you go down on the floor and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, what about it? Oh yeah, nah, ain't no fucking dance style. And that started a whole shit show. Ask Louis Keys, because he and I had a little issue and conversation about that. So I was like, yo, we, as the people that were there, can say that. And I tried explaining it to this knucklehead in Germany. I said, yo, that's like the N-word, bro. I can say it to you, you can say it to me in a certain way. And then I can find another brother and say it to him, and there's a fight. So white people don't get to come into that one at all. And it was like, damn, man, you ain't got to go that deep. I'm like, yes, I do. Because now people are teaching and people are saying lofting. I start to see flyers. Oh, somebody's teaching lofting. I'm like, oh, how do you do that? How do you teach? You understand? How do you teach an emotion? How do you teach a feeling? Because all the other dance styles that all these people now are pushing, they all have a person you can start with. If you say locking, there's a guy for that. You see what I'm saying? There's a guy for locking. There ain't nobody for lofting. So that was like a whole, I'm the one that kind of like, nah, y'all need to stop that, man. That it's not a dance style. And David had no idea what was going on downstairs with this whole dance. I gotta, if you go Google and you watch David's interviews, he doesn't bring up dancing about, oh, I have all the, the best lofters in New York City come to my place. The guy's talking music. He's talking dBs. He's talking sound. So, that's a whole other thing. But I just wanted to make sure, being that this is documented, people are going to watch it, that I made sure that I pushed the fact that there's no style of dancing called lofting. Because you have to remember, the mecca of disco dancing and disco music and disco tech was Studio 54. There's not a dance called Studio 54. It doesn't even have a dance. So that's very important that I was able to stop it right there and don't let the lie run or the bullshit run, and just like, because right now, it's not about me and you here anymore. This thing is worldwide, man. It's worldwide. Archie teaches all over the world. And Archie only teaches 3 styles. Not one of them is called lofting. And Archie's a loft head. You know what I'm saying? Archie put in time at the loft. If Archie missed 2 nights at the loft in a year, that's a lot. He either had stomach issues or some kind of flu. But he's a loft head. So if this guy's going to be teaching, if he's teaching all over the world, hustle, whacking, and vogue, which In reality, believe it or not, at the loft, nobody did none of those. So just to lay that on you. So music-wise, what David provided, we didn't even get to the garage. Now, when it comes to garage, my claim to fame for the garage, I performed at the garage 6 times. Where do we come from that? Because I am the original dancer for Strafe Set It Off. And Set It Off make 40 years this year. So
Tell
we're
us your,
performing. I beg your pardon?
Sorry, go ahead. Tell that story. Tell us.
Oh, that's a good one too. So Set It Off came out in
Tell that
84.
story, and then also tell us the story the first time you went to the garage too, and what that experience was like.
Again, that's my gang. You know, the ones that took me to studio. And just to show you how important that is for me, my cousin, his name is Gene Chandler. And he's the one that I was kind of close with. Yo, man, you come, you hang with me, you know, bust the moves. I'm just going to be over there doing drugs and picking up chicks. But I'm going to keep my eye on you. And I gave him the nickname 54. So that's our little, you know, like we hook up, you know, that's, yo, 54. Everybody's like, yo, what's up with this 54 thing, man? It's like, that's the dude that took me there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the name, you know, that's the name. And so even for him, he was like, Bravo, because nobody calls me Brahms, you know, nobody. So it was always like, I like that, Bravo. All right, okay, you're a Bravo motherfucker. All right, okay, cool. I could, okay, all right, you know, because that's what happens when every time I'm busting move, everybody starts screaming out Bravo. So you know, I was like, yeah, man, you're 54, baby. You know, so it was just a nickname, you know. But when I went to the garage, again, they were like, yo, we're going to go to the garage, man. We're just going to break you into this underground shit because you fit right in. Nobody's asking you to leave. You start busting moves, everybody's watching. Then there's some other dudes that dance just like you dance, so everything is cool. So they took me over to the garage. I spent more time outside than I do inside of the garage because I like the vibe. You can be out there for 5 hours, 6 hours, man. It was just so cool. You know, by that time I start knowing a lot of people because they, you know, oh man, you're that dancing dude from Bonds. You're that dancing dude from studio. So everybody started knowing me as that dancing guy. And we went in there, you know, again, the flavor was crazy, man. The system, the music, and I'm starting to notice, okay, these guys must know each other because they play about the same music. You know, none of them would play loft stuff, David stuff, until 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, that's when you get the David stuff. You know, that's because they're long. Those lost songs are long and meaningful, whereas all the other stuff is more, at that time, more contemporary. You know, again, Secret Weapon must be the music. You know, stuff like that. So you're like, oh, okay, that thing came out, you know, Sharon Red, you know. David played all of that stuff, but he's playing 4, 5, 6 hours more than all these other people, you know. So he's gonna hit you with some Woodstock shit, man, like nobody's business, man. Everybody's just vibing. Don't forget it, you're at his house. So he play whatever he wants. And no, there's no request, bro. You don't get to ask that. David, believe it or not, that's the other thing. David's like 20 years. David right now would have been like 78, 80 years old, man. Easy. I'm 61. You know? So he's like the Moses. He's the old guy of all that stuff. Anyway, I got to do the garage because once I hooked up with Strafe, I'm performing all over the city. I'm going bonkers, bro. Everybody's coming up with their cute little, oh, I study here, I study there. I'm taking them down, bro. You can't last a minute with me. I don't care what dancing you plan on doing. Because it's like, yeah, that's freestyle. You know, I kept it to the roots of what I remember from 72, 75, before I got nice. So once I got nice and I was able to combine whatever rhythm I wanted, whatever feel I wanted, that's what made it unique. Because I wasn't stuck into 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, if I decide to stand still for 6 records and just move my body like I'm freaking need to be in a straitjacket and they can't find one to fit me, then that's what I'm going to do. Because that's the element, that's the nuance of dancing, is to be able to just flow and do what you want to do. So I take that to heart. Now, with Strafe, I finished doing a gig. This is like 84, maybe like 6 months after Set It Off came out. And we're tearing this thing up at the Ozone Layer with David Morales. And I go to see them because a buddy of mine supplied the system. His name is Action Jackson, for DJ Ernie Kendall, who's the DJ, used to do some mixtapes for BLS. And I go over and he told me, yo, these guys are performing, man, the Set It Off guys. I was like, oh man, that's the jam. I ripped that thing apart. They started, it wasn't packed. It wasn't packed. This is at the Village Gate. Village Gate is long gone, turned into Poisson Rouge and all that, but gone. Village Gate is, you know, for the Village, you know, we talking Miles Davis, Bill Evans, you know, everybody played at the Village Gate, real music. So again, once any club is going down from their heydays, we get to come in and run shit. The underground gang. That's the nature of the beast. That's how it goes. They lose their liquor license. They can only have juice bar. Hello, here we come. You know, we're going to jump in your joint from fucking 11 to 11. You know, it's going to be packed. You ain't going to make no money. You're not going to make that much money because nobody's going to go to the bar. One, you don't have a bar. And two, if you do, we ain't going there. So it's drugs and baby powder. So they started doing their thing. It was two of them, Strafe and a brother by the name of Radar, just passed away a few months ago. And I'm like, yo, you know, you always had that issue when somebody, you hear a song and then when they perform, you're like, they don't go together. You know, I'm like, oh, come on. And again, I mentioned to you from watching all these shows in club, I've seen shows and shows. At Bonds, I was the guy that controlled the punch, all the fruits. I mean, we go get boxes of bananas, boxes of grapes, boxes of apples. You know, that's the whole keep that thing going. You know, I ran that department. You know, we're making punch out of garbage cans, bro. Huge garbage cans. You know, you're feeding like 3,000 people, man, every Saturday. So I've seen a lot of shows. Too many shows. I've seen them over and over. You know, this one's good. And like, yeah, I should have been dancing to that one. Then they had their little funny ass dancers, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was like, oh, no way. So, you know, I'm kind of like what would you call it? A critic without even wanting to be a critic. Like, that wasn't too good. So anyway, these guys are doing their thing. 2 minutes, like not even 2 minutes in the song. And I was like, oh man, this thing needs life. So I jumped on stage and just started busting moves, man. The crowd just, it's a joke, you know. Everybody's like, oh, you know, now the whole thing is more, now it makes sense, so to speak, to me. And when they finished, I was like, yo, man, I can't believe you guys are fucking up your own song, man. What's up with that? And the guy was looking at me like, yo, who the fuck are you? I was like, I don't know. I'm the guy that just jumped on the stage and fucked up shop. You know, the guy was like, oh man, I don't know. We like you, man. I was like, yo, I'm just letting you know, man. Everybody likes this song. This shit is like, you know, I don't know. So they were like, oh, okay, Mr. Dancer. All right. I said, yo, man, you should let me know when you got another gig, bro. I show up and like, you know, fuck up shop. Here's my number. Call me. I got a call. Hey, we're doing Roseland Saturday. You in? I'm like, yeah, I'll see what's up. So I go. I'm in the crowd. They start. Roseland is huge, man. And by that time, you know, all of these, again, junior high school kids, like I call them, junior high school people that didn't graduate. They're going to get upset, but that's just a nice term, you know. You know, you when it comes to dancing in the old days, all the guys that cut school, take your lunch money, they're the guys that know how to dance. You know, A students don't dance, bro, you know. So I show up, I'm watching, I'm in the crowd, and they doing their thing, and I jump up, stage right, just start busting moves. Busting moves. Oh my God, I'm going bonkers, man. I'm running over that shit. Again, I come from, you know, freestyle mentality, freestyle in the park, the loft. I'm accepting myself. I don't need nobody to expect. I'm accepting myself. I'm like, yeah, man, just do you, man. But dance, sweat, You know, because no, not too many people. When you start sweating, you're like, yo, you're not at a gym. Nobody goes to, you know, you're not at a gymnasium. You're not doing, you know, a physical ed. Like, yo, man, just chill, you know. No, I don't do that. I'm going bonkers, man. I'm in carnival mode. And I just left stage. I did that same thing as a studio with Strafe for about 5, 6, 7 gigs. I just pop up, man, and leave. You know, and then next thing you know, yeah, yo, got another one. Next thing you know, we're doing 4 or 5 shows in one night. We're starting from Yonkers, the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan. You know, we just set it off. It's on the radio. It's moving, bro. And I'm just jamming away. Now, one time comes, boom, Paradise Garage. I was like, oh, shit, that's my spot. Let's go. Let's go. I call up Archie because now Archie had started a group called Breed of Motion with Tyrone Proctor from Soul Train. Tyrone moved to New York. So now we got Breed of Motion, which consists of at least 5 of what is now considered all the styles that all these people are doing. We got Willie Ninja, Breed of Motion, Tyrone Proctor, Breed of Motion, Archie, myself, Steven, and before I even came in, they had 4 or 5 other cats. But in terms of the styles, Vogue, before everybody was even saying the word Vogue, that was Willie Ninja, before he went off to do Paris is Burning. Tyrone already comes from Soul Train, so pedigree down to the max. You know, we talking some thoroughbred shit right here. Archie can do every freaking style imagine, because that's his thing. He's a chameleon. Me, everybody's like, yo, he's gonna do that Fred Astaire shit. That's what they call it. There was no how. I'm not a house dancer. I'm a dancer. You know? And for Willie, I just used to say, yo, man, do some of that pretzel shit, man. There wasn't no new way, old way, Vogue. I do some of that pretzel shit. And for Tyrone, I used to say, yo, do some of that old train. That's yo, do some of that old train. You know, we just had, you know, these little nicknames of stuff, you know. Oh, Mr. Fred Astaire. Ooh, the Black Fred Astaire. You know, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, but I'm a Fred Astaire fanatic. So, you know, but that was just, you know, that whole thing. We were all organic, man. All organic. You know, we even did the ozone layer, came from doing like 4 or 5 gigs. I was like, yo, man, let's go tear up the ozone layer in Brooklyn. It was like, oh, okay, all right, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, they're all there. Don't worry about it. Showed up. David was like, oh, yo, what's up? Yo, man, let's go, man. Throw it on. Let's do it. And our group, the Loft, because the Loft was in the club, that's David's house. The Loft is the only time that had a performance, and that was me, Archie, and brother by the name of Javier Izquierdo, who by the time Breed of Motion was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and Archie was very tight with David Mancuso, extremely tight. And he says, hey, look, I want to do a little something for David at the Loft. So this was in 99 Prince Street. This was when they were in Alphabet City. And we performed at, even got pictures. When we performed at the Loft. So we were the only group that ever performed at the Loft.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of like lucky to say I was at the right place at the right time many times. Many times. I performed at Zanzibar, and there's not one club in the city I haven't performed at, whether it's big or small. And then now, because of our history, Archie and I are in a play together, Underscore, with Efrat Asheri dance company, and it's about clubbing. And we perform at every theater in New York City now. We do Guggenheim. I got a Chinese crew. I've done Lincoln. We've done Lincoln Center. I've done Carnegie Hall, and all of this is all that club stuff. It's all that club stuff.
Let me
Crazy,
know
man.
what the next one is. I'd love to check it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll see. You'll see. Like I said, that's why these things are important. You know, people like yourself. You know, you do these things. I watch it everything, man. I put in time, man. I watch everything. This way I can pop all the shit I want. And if I can't, then I want to find out, because it helps, because you don't know who's going to listen. You know, one person listens, and this thing, it goes worldwide. You understand what I'm saying? My people connected to your people connected Oh, I heard about him. Oh, I saw him. Oh my, he's still dancing. Oh, this motherfucker's alive. You get these weird things because you and I have never met. You see what I'm saying? We've never met.
But we have a
And
lot
I'm
of
just
people in common.
again, you see, I'm connecting you with Mike Dungy because he's my idol, and I'm like, oh shit, oh man, he had Jews, get out of here, because I'm still learning stuff when these guys tell their stories. I'm still learning stuff, and it's important, man, because we're not Wikipedia people, we're not Wikipedia people. We're like, yo, what's up? Talk to me. We're that people, That's my thing, and we have to hang in the electronic world and the knowledge world and the bad knowledge world. We have to hang. But luckily for me, I get to travel. I can get on the plane tomorrow, man. I can be in Sweden tomorrow. So I don't have to wait for information. I could be in Sweden tomorrow. Tell them, yo, you got to check this thing out. I did an interview the other day. It's pretty cool. They have Mike Dungy there. I saw you had Ted Patterson, is it?
Ted Patterson, yep.
Yeah, I watch, man. So, like I said, now all of a sudden I'm hip to all your stuff. I got to watch. I'm like, yo, these are my people. So that's like, oh man. And we get to hear each other's stories, And sometimes when you're telling a story, like, oh, what's his name? I don't remember. And then you're saying it, you say it like, it's almost like watching Jeopardy. That guy that played at Zanzibar. And, I'm over here screaming out, Tony Humphrey. It's like a game show.
Tell me about Check Your Body at the Door.
Wow. Check Your Body at the Door is a very interesting story. Archie's, don't forget, this is all of us, 1981. We're in our early 20s. You live with your parents or whatever. Everybody's trying to figure out what are you going to do as a profession. I studied architecture. Archie's studying graphic arts. And he's at the School for Visual Arts in the village. And he needs an elective. And he sees Black history music or something like that, Black music history or something like that. And he goes, oh, hey, I'm Black. I know music. I'm taking this thing. Yeah. I'm taking this thing and then I'm just, you get the elective. They always give you some kind of elective. You need an elective. So he's like, yeah, I'm doing this. So he walks in and the instructor happens to be Sally Summers, white lady. She's showing videos. This is we barely got out of Betamax. We're in VHS. She's showing James Brown videos. So through that, they had a paper to write on music experiences, to write, like you and I having this conversation. Archie writes about this place, music being played for 12 hours, all type of music, all type of people just intertwined with each other, almost like a UN of diversity, music-wise, dance-wise. But when he hands in his paper, Sally's got a grade paper she's reading, and she's like, I'm sorry, I write for the Village Voice. I write for the New York Times. I write dance reviews. Where is this place that I've never heard of in New York City? Because she's been, that's her thing. She's a dance historian. You see what I'm saying? And he's like, oh, 99 Prince Street. And she's like, what? I live 6 blocks from there. So all this time she lives across the park. She's on 5th Avenue and 12th or 11th. She's across the park. Never a peep that this thing is going on 6, 8 blocks from her crib, this loft thing. So he's like, oh, yo, you want to go, I'll take you. We meet up like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. She's like, whoa, kind of, what? That's prime time, everybody's hanging out, blah, blah, blah. So she's going fishing. She sets her shit up and gets up and he takes her to the loft. She goes to the loft and gets wowed by like, oh my God. And it's like, wow, I got to write I'm going to write an article about this gem of a place that exists in New York City. And through that energy, you introduce her to other places, the loft. Because I remember back then, you still got places like Dance Terriers open, all the Peppermint Lounge. All these places are still active. New York is on fire. in a good way. And she decided, hey, I want to get a grant and document these people, these dancers. So she writes a grant, and she gets awarded a grant, and just tell Archie, hey, look, start gathering these people together because we're gonna get camera crew, big beta, big camera, Betamax, and start documenting people. And he just went around because Archie's like the most friendliest underground club head out there. Knows everybody, friendly with everybody. He ain't got no beef with anybody. And he just started pulling people in. And he gathered all of us together. And he goes, yeah, and then you got to meet, Mr. Fred Astaire of club dancing, Bravo. Like, oh, what's that all about? This is just him, a little nickname, like, really? Oh, how's that work with this music or with this thing? Like, oh, he puts it together. And what do we, she's like, where do we find him? By then, I'm working at Sound Factory Bar on Saturdays. Sound Factory Bar was big for Wednesday nights was Underground Network. And this would probably be for you. And it's like, yeah, you find him at the shelter. But he shows up at 6 o'clock. Like everybody's got these weird hours, And sure enough, she get the little crew together, like, yo, we're gonna meet then. I feel like I was like Sasquatch, like Bigfoot. Where's the sighting for this guy? And sure enough, man, I showed up, man. I showed up, jumped in the middle of that place, panned it up. They were like, is that him? That's gotta be him. I'm busting moves, man. Going bonkers. I show up nuts, bro. Nuts. And she just walks up to me. Mind you, PTSD from that lady in red at Studio 54, no offense. Just walks up like, hi, you must be Bravo. Mind you, like I just came out the pool, man. Yeah, what's up? I'm Sally Summers. Pleased to meet you. I'd like to interview you. Oh, hold on, I gotta get some of this. What are they playing? Fucking CNC Music Factory, Deeper Love, Deeper Love, the Deeper Love, the Deeper Love. I was like, oh, I gotta go get some of this, sister. I'll be back. See you in 12 minutes. Jumped in, man, rocking, bro. Then when I finally got me off, I'm good. I showed up. Yo, what's up? What we doing? What's going on? And just talking, just interviewing. And yeah, we're filming, and we'd like to know your availability. Oh, like sure, yeah, just ask Archie, whatever he wants, man. I'm good. And they put this thing together. It took like 20 years because it's actually 30 years old now. 20? Yeah, it's about 20, 30. Yeah, it's about 20 years old now. Yeah. But it took about 10 years to make, man, because they run out of money, when they were filming. Don't forget, they were renting this stuff. It wasn't, you can do check your body at the door. Well, you can do anything on your iPhone now in 3 hours, man. Editing, blah. But back then you had to go, do edits, film, 2-3 camera, a crew. And when they run out of money, you don't hear anything until they got money, and then they call you up and say, oh, we're filming or we're interviewing. We had a verbal interview. We had she was writing stuff down. Lincoln Center, we just rehearsal. They rent out a space and we show up, we dance, they film us, and then they put it together. They had a short, they had like a 4-minute piece, 10-minute, 15-minute. It was on a hush hush, don't let nobody see it, stuff like that. And then it got released. And we released the premiere was at Lincoln Center. Very nice, very, very nice. And I got wind of marketing and got some T-shirts printed up. We sold some T-shirts, and then I ventured deep into the change the colors, change this, and put sayings. Yeah, it became like a racing car or a soccer team. I got into that. You'll see Check Your Body at the Door T-shirts all over the world. Different. I changed the colors. I got Check Your Body at the Door on the sleeve, and yeah, it's a big deal. I didn't think about it back then, and I guess it's good because if I did, maybe I would have been it would have been too orchestrated. It was just natural. Yeah. So it's a big deal. DVD, T-shirts, and people see it. You get to see Willie Ninja. He passed away. You got early Brian Green, young Brian Green, Marjorie. You know, you got all these people that are in it, man. It's a big deal.
Tell
And
us,
we got Archie as our ringleader.
tell us how the title came about.
Check your body at the door. Um, I like to twist words around, and I'm sure Archie would have claimed to this. And I'm like, yo, when they kept asking questions, why do we do what we do? Drugs and gangs, and we don't dress, we dress different. And I'm like, yo, when it comes to, the underground, you just check your body at the door. That's it. You're good to go. Because you remember, I don't know if you remember, you had the whole no boots, no caps. That was all geared to those people, that they don't want your ass in here because your ass is funky. And then, you got the weapons thing, right? I mean, think about it. You go to the airport, TSA, I get it. You go to a club, like, damn, like, they got guns in here? Nice. Like, yo, it's New York. So I was trying to just make sure I emphasize the point where you check your body at the door. That's it. When the dancers show up, the bouncers like, they're just gonna jump around. These guys don't fight. So that's where the lingo came from of just, yo, check your body at the door, man. It's like just be happy in the room. Because there was none of that whole I'm looking for chicks, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for trouble. Yo, if I see that guy again, none of that, man. People just want to hang out and just release, man. Just party up, man. Music, man, that's the drug. That's the drug right there.
That's perfectly leads into two questions. How did
Yes.
you resist the drugs, and how did you resist the temptation to pick up women?
Nice. All of them were easy. Period. I'm the youngest of four, so I watched my brothers fuck up. Haitian upbringing, that's the kind of ass whippings you don't want anyway. To disappoint your parents. And I was never one to kind of like, can't wait till I get older so I can. I never had that. Never fell for it. And my older brother, he's like, I want you to do everything I do. No drinking, no drugs. But you can do everything else, which he's just giving me like, take all these steps, take the emotions, how you see me in Pop's flow. My older brother drank, but he didn't do no drugs. And he always told me, you don't get to do none of that. Just dance. Just dance. You don't get to do none of that. And I'm like, when I was 11, he was 22. And I was like, I can't wait till I'm 22. That was the only thing I ever waited for. Because I watched this guy, man, dance, and I watch how people watch when he's dancing. That was the thing. You know what I'm saying? Not just admire what he's doing. I'm hip. I got it. I've seen him do it a lot. But it's the people. There's people you can tell they're like, he's on something. He's not. That guy's crazy. He's not. Damn, this motherfucker can dance. Yeah, it's all dance. And that's what I wanted to keep. I wanted to make sure I kept that, And believe it or not, he passed away last month. And then I just came back from California doing underscore with Archie. And I text my nephew. I said, yo, I'm back in town. He goes, oh, okay. I said, yo, how's Pop's doing? He goes, not too good, man. The doctor said it don't look good. He should have family around him. I was like, oh, okay. And then I sent him a message like, yo, I'm back, man. How we doing? He goes, I ain't doing too good, but hey, it is what it is. And then my nephew texts me back and says he wants to see you. But he didn't tell me that. See what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, I jumped in the shower. I cried like a whale in the shower. That was interesting. I'm like, yo, where all this water come from? And I went up there. I went up there to see him. Emotionally, it hit me hard. Boom. That's my idol, man. That's the dude right there. And then he goes, yo, how was your show? I'm like, the way it's supposed to be, man, just like you showed me. He said, all right. I said, yo, I got your name all over the world, bro. Everybody know who you are. And he goes, yeah, that's because of you. And he says, you keep dancing, I'll see you when I see you. I was like, that's easy, bro. That's what you told me when I was 11. So it's the dance thing. I do that shit in my sleep, bro. And I don't care what kind of music it is, not style. Music, there's a difference.
I love that. A question,
Yeah.
a question from Archie.
Yes.
Ask him what made him to decide to go from dancer to music producer.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Let me tell you. I didn't have the bug to do it, but when Strafe went from independent to A&M Records, so now we're pro, and we did a song React. I did backgrounds. Went in the studio, watched how everything happened, functioned, flowed. I was like, oh, this is cool, you know, just all the functions, all the this and tedious buttons and all of this crazy stuff. Um, and again, I learned without knowing that I was learning. And songs could be playing. I can have other songs or beats in my head, And I decided I could try this stuff. And I went to Sam Ash one time. It was so a drum machine was 199. I was like, oh, I can swing that. Mind you, I don't even know what a drum machine does, bro. But the 199, I can swing that. I got it. Took it home, connected it to the house system, and just press drum, douche, douche. Doink, doink, all the sounds, point, 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 point. Don't forget, there's no YouTube, there's no whatever. And look at read the manual. That drove me crazy for a while. And then the most irritating thing was the metronome it had. I'm like, okay. So you got to get in there. Doop, 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 doop. And then you're good. It records it, I'm like, oh shit. And the I was like, oh, okay. So I was just like, again, like from scratch. Then they had little presets in there. They're all 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a whole bunch of presets. And as a matter of fact, it's the feeling of what GarageBand does now. And I just put a few of them together. And I'm like, I know it's not me, but this is it. It feels good, little by little. Then I start, because I'm a big Boy Jarvis fan, and he lived in the neighborhood. And I know him from the dance floor, but we danced together, And then I just like, yo, man, I want to come by your crib, man. Why don't you get down? Because Boy Jarvis is the man, bro. And I went, he had a whole bunch of stuff. Then I went to Straight's place, they had a whole bunch of stuff. I had a small little box. And I just watched, get that feeling, and just do it. I got a keyboard. I just do. And the thing is I felt uncomfortable because I don't know what note, I don't know what key, I don't know this, I don't know that, but I just know like, oh man, I can dance to this. I can dance to, I used to, like if I program something, I program a pattern, because I was at the architectural firm. I would call my phone at the office and play the pattern on the phone for like 30 minutes. Then I go to sleep. When I come in the office, first message I got is from me last night. And I listened to it, like as if I called you and said, yo, check this out. So I'm like, oh shit, it still feels like it did when I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't tripping. Oh shit. Then I come back home the next day. I play it real loud. I live on the second floor. I play it real loud and I go downstairs like I'm just walking by and I hear music. When you're walking by, you hear music. Oh shit. And I listen and I stand there and watch what happens when people walk by. I'm like, oh yeah, this is working. And then I just start putting shit together. And my first song was in 1987, 88, Feel It. And I created my own label because I didn't know anything about that whole shopping and whatever. I didn't want to be, knocking on nobody's door to do whatever. And I just created my own label, went to the studio because I'd been there before with Strafe when he was doing major projects. And I just said, hey, look, how much does it cost? I think it was like 75 an hour or something like that. And the guy's like, yeah, but if you buy in bulk, It's cheaper. Might have been, yeah, 100 or 75 an hour. I was like, well, what's bulk? And they're like, yeah, 12 hours, 24 hours, you split it up into whatever. I was like, oh, okay. So I stayed home and programmed a whole bunch of stuff for this one song. And then I went in there and I was like, yo, I want 24 hours, but straight. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, straight. The guy's like, oh, it's going to burn out your ears. It's going to this, that. I said, dude, I work in clubs all freaking week. How's it going to burn out my ears? But these are engineers, you know what I'm saying? The guys know, like, yo, dude, you don't want to do that. And I'm like, okay, well, can we start with 12 then? And then the next day we'll do the other 12. And they're like, oh my God, what's up with you? I was like, well, what do you got? I was like, well, I showed up with my little drum machine, my little keyboard, and now I'm in the studio and they connect to the, massiveness. Oh, it was way different than this, bro. I was like, put it in, went, I was like, oh, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. And then I start doing lights and I start doing lights on and off, on and off. I'm like, yeah, just like the clubs. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, what's this button do? I'm like, oh, don't push that. What about this? Well, don't do that. And then the speaker had the green light that blinked like this, and then the red light. And I'm like, how do you make the red lights go on? They're like, yeah, that's not supposed to happen. I'm like, well, how do you make them go on? They got like, well, if it's too loud, they're gonna think. I'm like, can I see? They're like, that's like $2,000 a speaker, bro. And I'm like, I just want to see, just make one of them. And he played it real loud, and the red light flickered a little bit. It was orange. It wasn't red. It flickered. And I'm like, what about we just let it stay like that with the green one and then the red one? The guy's like, no, that's that's bad engineering. But I tell you what, make it red. I'll pay for the speaker if it blows. And he was like, yo, man, you've been hanging out in the clubs too much. You sure you don't do drugs? I was like, no, why? It's like, that's the stupidest thing. You don't want to do that. I'm like, I'm going to pay for the speaker, bro. Like, yeah, but you don't want to do that. And then what I used to do is when I go in, because I go with a whole bunch of Playboy magazines, Playboy, Hustler. I go to 42nd Street back in the days, when they had all those drag queens, every weird magazine you could imagine. I get like 3 of each. Over 40, over 50, over 60. So I show up with a stack of magazines like this at the studio, and I throw them in the air like this, and the guy looking, no, what the fuck, what the, so it's just to keep, excitement. So while the engineers are doing like engineer stuff, I go on the other side, and I'll hold one up for them, you know. Yeah, I just go by like this, The guy's like, oh, yo, come on, man. While they doing their thing, yo, check this out, man. It'd be like over 60, like, come on, man. I'm like, yo, look. Just so I could, make sure we still pumping, every hour. And then we'll say, when we get like to a final, this thing is sounding like unbelievable, man. Like you take your headphones, you put them on like this, you're like, oh, this is loud. And then you can actually be in a room that, soundproof, all this professional stuff. And I'm pushing little buttons. Oh, that's what makes it red, What's and that's it. And then the guy's like, you really don't know what you're doing, do you? I'm like, nope. But it sounds good, don't it? I said, when you turn off the lights, and I do all the lights like a baby, like a kid, man. I'm just flicking lights, and I turn off the lights, and it's dark, man. All you see is all the buttons, all of that stuff. And they're like, damn, bro, you've been in the clubs too long, man. But you're right. It does feel good, Yeah. And I had this gentleman that I work with at the office, architecture, everybody's quiet. On his desk, I saw a book, very thick book, and it had a guitar in it. And I'm like, oh, wow, you play music? He's like, oh, yeah. I was only at the firm. Mind you, I worked there 21 years, 6 months. But back then, I was only there like 6 months before the next 20 years. And I said to him, wow, you play guitar? He goes, yeah. I play a few instruments, I used to be in high school bands. I was like, oh, man. I'm like, yo, I'm going to a studio this weekend. You want to come up and play something? And he's like, Oh, you're a musician? I was like, no. He's like, oh, what are you doing in the studio? I said, I'm doing a house track. He's like, well, what's that? Like, yeah, just disco music, I guess, loud. He's like, oh, okay. So I gave him the address. It's Brooklyn, white dude. Tony Winters, that's my man, bro. We've probably done like 12, 15 cuts together. Uh, and I was like, yo, I'll pick you up. I didn't want him walking around Fulton Street. Well, I don't know if you know Fulton Street and fucking Nostrand Avenue, bro, to New York back in the crack days, bro. In the crack days. And I went, I picked him up to the train station, walked over, he walked into the studio. He's like, he's from Nashville. He's like, oh man, this is a full studio. Yo, how much do you pay for this thing? I was like, I bought it in bulk, bro, but I got it for 12 hours. So he's like, I'm like, well, you don't have to stay for 12. I'm staying for 12. I got all the books, all the nasty books and crackers and chips and the whole bit. And he says, well, so what are you doing? What are you working on? I said, yo, I'll play it for you so you can hear it. And this thing played, he was like, he had never heard nothing like that before, bro. He's like, I mean, he's heard disco, but he's like, oh, what key is this in? I was like, I don't know, bro. He's like, oh, okay. And what about the note? Oh, I don't know, bro. And it's like, and I'm like, I said, yo, watch this. I go in the room. There's a big room with a grand piano and then another room for vocals. But I go in the big room, where they got the big glass, and I just dance, bro. Dance to my own shit. I'm going bonkers for 7 minutes, bro. He's like, holy shit. And I come back in. That's why I'm doing this shit, because I like it. It's good. And he's like, okay, all right. I said, yo, let's go. Plugged in his guitar and he start working shit out. And he goes like, I think it's an F sharp. I'm like, yeah, what's that? He goes, it's an F sharp. I'm like, okay, is that a problem? He goes, it's an F sharp. I'm like, okay, so what that mean, bro? He goes, it just stays in F sharp. I'm like, okay, so it's F sharp. What's the problem? All right. And he starts just, and that might have been the first club or house track with live guitar on it. Yeah, it's called Feel It. I'll tag you because I have it on. I performed it before VHS. There was like a little before cable downtown in Manhattan. There was only something like you can get on Channel C or something like that. And one of the guys from the club land, because I just started performing everywhere. They were like, "You're a great dancer, man. So if you got anything, we'll play it." Like, yo, this is Bravo the dancing guy. So I literally pushed my own stuff, and yeah. And he jammed on it, man. Next thing I know, it's like, yo, we're doing another one in 2 months. He's like, oh, okay. What key is that one in? I have no idea, bro. You figure it out when you come to the studio. And even now, till this day, I'm still doing stuff, except now I liked it better when I didn't know. It felt better. Now I gotta think and I gotta have other guys think and fuck. Yeah. But I'm still doing stuff. I got something now I'm working on with Strafe. We're gonna put it out in well, we're shooting for January. I already did most of the production, but we're gonna do post production, and it's for the 50 years of hip hop. I'm gonna take advantage of that. It's called Hip Hop Graffiti. It's gangster, bro. It's just straight up Bronx, raw. Like, damn, who did this? What is that? And I kept the same thing, man. Play real out of my headphones. You know, stand outside, play it real loud, watch people walk by, like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, it's on like a James Brown tip. It just feels like a raw James Brown Bootsy. Yeah. Hip hop graffiti. You'll hear it. You'll be like, oh shit. It's in the pocket, bro. Trust me. I trust my music.
I love it. Archie also said, ask him about his inspirations of dancers past.
Oh my gosh, man. Well, he would know Pierre Colas. I remember, like I said, he's the one that worked at Studio 54. He was the guy that let you in, you know. And I was very disappointed when everybody said Pierre's at Studio 54. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to go up there. He must be tearing that place up. He don't dance up there. Because by that time, he wasn't busting moves, man. He was into new wave music, fashion, and hanging out with all the gays. I was like, what the hell? But that was the dude, man. Back in the neighborhood, they call him Crazy Legs. So, that was 20 years before Crazy Legs from Rocksteady. Because he get down, bro. When I went to junior high school, I lived my school was about like 7 blocks from where he lived. My brother lived on that block too. And every Wednesday we get out of school early, 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I just used to walk around that block just so I can spot one of these guys walking, bro. The crew. There was like 6, 7 of them. You know, these guys, they're like teenagers by, you know, they're like 17, 18. I'm like, you know, 12, 13. And I used just, if I see this guy just walking, to me, they're dancing, you know. When you're a kid, you know, those are people. Like I wasn't into sports like basketball. I want to play basketball. I want to play football. Nah, man, I want to watch these dudes dance, bro. And one Wednesday I was just walking by and, you know, he's coming up the block. He goes, "Oh, wow, little George." My older brother's name was George. "Little George, oh, what are you doing around here?" I'm like, "Oh, getting out early from school." You know, took the tie off, got it in your pocket, you know. And he's like, "Yo, come inside, man. We go downstairs." And that's where him and all the fellas smoke weed and dance, bro. The whole wall was little 45s. The whole wall. That, and I don't know if you remember the glow in the dark posters, the one with that blue light thing, that glow in the dark. They had the Panthers, you know, it was velvet and colorful. The whole basement, man. That was like the room for the fellas to hang out and shit and bust moves and smoke weed. And I watched these guys, they were dancing to Carol Douglas, Smarty Pants, I think it's Smarty Pants. Smarty Pants. No, it might be Rochelle Fleming. But any of those funky Rufus Shaka Khan, any of those things. Put the music where your mouth is. That's 1972. Do-doom, doom, 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 doom. Ka-doom. Oh man, I watched these guys, and mind you, they're just teenagers, you know, trying to be cool. Me, these guys are gods, man. And man. I watch these guys. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait, man. Those are my street idols from the neighborhood. And then comes all the Nicholas Brothers stuff, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, Bilbo Robinson. I just watch, man. I just watch. Those are all my influences. Watch and watch. And then Archie, I call him Video Man. Because before that, you know, in the old days, Archie just walk in, man. The guy look for a shadow or a mirror and just sit there and just to himself, man. Unbelievable character, man. Unbelievable character. But we've been together, damn, we got like 37 years together, man. At least 40, 37, 40 years together. And he's always been inspired by me. And I only had dance issue with Archie once when he went to California and told me he went to something with Shabba-Doo. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And what are you doing in California? And he was like, no, man, you know, that's the guy from, I said, man, we're fucking from the loft, man. We're Brooklyn, man. We don't, and it was a whole bit, he couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I just lost my mind. I'm like, we don't go to them. They come to us. I had this whole thing. I'm like, what? You did what? Why? We don't put money in the bank. We rob banks. You know, what's wrong with you? Yeah, man. But yeah, Eleanor Powell. Oh my God, man. That's oof. Eleanor Powell's no joke, bro. Oh, but that's Hollywood, man. But to take that and find a way to work it into the streets or whatever music is going on, that's what I'm saying. I'm not about a dance style. I'm just about the music. Because I can throw it in, man. It don't matter, man. Whether it's, I give you an example. I did a project with some people from Amsterdam at Harlem Stage, and they just they didn't even ask me to do anything house. They're like, can you give us some jazz and salsa? That's my shit, baby. Woo, that's my shit. I was like, yeah. So they have this you know, they have a DJ, young dude, computer, Serato, whatever. I'm not even into that. I mean, I do tractor now. But I'm like, okay, I let everybody have their, you know, that's your field. And he goes, oh yeah, I got something for you. I got something for you, OG. You know, I got something for you for the salsa and for the jazz. I'm like, yeah, okay. So he plays this, right? You know, this is in rehearsal. He plays a Latin song. And they all were standing there waiting for me to dance. Everybody's saying, oh, maybe you got to listen to it. I'm like, okay. What's the jazz one going to sound like? And he, okay, hold on. You know, this is a while back. It's like 20 years, 25 years ago. And he plays the jazz. I was like, I said, yo, can I ask you a question? Can you dance to this shit? And everybody was like, oh, here we go. That's one question Archie should have told you. Like, why is Bravo always starting shit? And everybody's like, uh-oh. I was like, no, I'm just asking, man, you know, because you played the damn thing and you want me to dance to it. I just want to know if you can dance to it. And he was like, yo, man, no disrespect, man. I'm the DJ. I'm like, oh, you're the DJ. Gotcha. Okay. So you're not dancing. I'm dancing to it. Okay, I'll bring it tomorrow, bro. And I looked at the director. I said, I'll bring it tomorrow. They're like, what happened? You don't like it? I'm like, no, it's not. I don't like it. But if he picked it, I thought he was going to do something to it. This way I can vibe off of that, not him just playing it. He goes, Joe, man, but that's the hot shit, and that's the da. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you what's the hot shit tomorrow. I'll tell you what's the hot shit. And I went home, dug through fucking eyes closed 90 joints, bro. Easy. Okay, boom, that's it. Jazz. Okay, that's it. And then I showed up the next day. And I was like, yo, play this. And they played because I had to do a jazz number. They played this shit. I'm going bonkers, bro. See, my thing is this. I'm gonna do it. If you don't like it, sucks to be you. That's my thing. So I'm like, eyes closed too. Literally, eyes closed. I like to do that on purpose. I said, that's the jazz one. Next, they played this other joint. I'm like, ha ha, get that Latin going. And you can tell everybody's like, ah, damn. Mind you, this is the cast. So if I got the cast, audience is fucked. The cast is like, The DJ guy's like, oh man, I never heard that before. I was like, I'm sure you haven't. Now I'm popping smack. Cal Jada, Eddie Palmieri, 1957. First Latin jazz collaboration. They said it wouldn't go nowhere. It became album of the year. The Jazz Joint, Count Basie, 1936. One microphone, 4 dudes in a room. And they were like, shit. I was like, yeah, that's why they call me Bravo. Let's do this. Everybody was like, holy shit. Woo! Man, dude.
What a story. What a story. I got another one from Archie. Ask him how he's able to produce music, spin music, manage a restaurant, have a family, and mentor dancers. How does he do it?
Oh, I hate this guy. Oh my gosh. I've always been like that. Straight same thing. They all keep asking me this. Very little sleep. I don't have a problem with sleep. I can do it with 4 hours. I don't know. It's just, like I said, I can just go through them. When I was studying architecture, I sit there and draw all night till 5, 6 in the morning. Take a little nap and then do what I got to do. I don't want to have to answer to my parents. I don't want them to think I was a bum. So I picked, because I hung out so much, they're going to be worried about you, bro. Oh, this guy's going to be doing drugs. Or they're like, oh, he left last night. He came back in the morning. What's this all about? And I had to pick a profession this way. You can't get more serious than architecture, So they see me drawing, they're like, wow, how could he stay still? And then when they see me moving, they'd be like, wow. So I've always done them all at the same time. It's not new to me. And I still do the same thing. And yeah, I run 4 restaurants. 3 Mexican restaurant, 1 Guatemalan restaurant. They're all on the same block.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sleep. I still go to rehearsal, when there's rehearsal and there's a show, I'm out. I'll be back next week, But yeah. And I'm only 3 blocks from the restaurant. People say, oh man, don't give them your number. They're always gonna call you. I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy to call. I'm there, bro. It's just my drive. I guess I didn't have lazy parents or something like that. Or my parents wouldn't let me be lazy, Because, where I come from, in my household, you get ass whipping, man. It wasn't pretty. They beat you like a slave, bro. And that's love. I'm old school, I know what a beating feels like, man. And this is because of their culture. Don't embarrass me, like, well, what about me? Don't embarrass me. Forget that. Yeah, I keep it tight, man. That's all. But that's just my nature. It's not something I complain about. I never even have no reason to complain about it. That's just what I do.
Louis,
Yeah.
Lewis Key says hello. He
Oh,
said to ask you,
good brother.
when you left the dance scene for a while supporting your daughter, which I commend you for, what
Mhm.
did you notice about the new scene when you returned?
The shocking thing was I'm at the office, because architecture takes up a lot of time. That's not a 9 to 5 job, bro. I was doing high-end residentials. I'm doing like 6, 7, 8, $10 million homes. We work in teams, take about like 2 years to complete from scratch. We're talking land, knock the tree down, talk to the landscapers, blah, 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 all the way down to the designer, all the contractors, and then you gotta make the shit look pretty, you know. This motherfucker spending $10 million. They got a lot to bitch about, bro. They bitch about bullshit. And Archie had called me up one time and said, "Hey, these guys, which was the new generation back then, the Mop Tops, your Brian Greens, Dance Fusion, Shan S, Sekou, uh, Loose Joints, Buddha Stretch, the whole gang, E. Joe, and these guys are." He's like, "Yo, these guys, they got this. They're teaching at Faisal's." I'm like, "Okay, what are they teaching?" He goes, "Oh, they're teaching house." I'm like, "I'm sorry, they're doing what?" I'm on the phone. I'm like, "Where do you guys get these things from, man? First, you take your ass to stupid California to go see Shabba-Doo. I still can't understand that." And he's like, "You still on that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still on that." And now you're telling me that they're teaching the shit that we roll around doing every Saturday night and Thursday and Friday and Monday and Wednesday and two. What exactly are they teaching? He goes, "No, man, these guys came up with names for the steps." I'm like, "Came up with names for the steps? What kind of bullshit is that?" He's like, "Yo, man, these guys, they're teaching, man. They're teaching, they're doing videos, they're traveling." I was like, "What? How? What do you?" I said, "They're doing that 5, 6, 7, 8 bullshit? I hate that, bro." He goes, "Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8." I'm like, what music? What, because, Lolita Holloway? Ain't no mountain high enough? The Clash? Funk Masters? It's like, no, man, they're doing Farmer and this, that, and there's this kid, man, Brian Green, he got fast footwork like you. I'm like, okay, more power to him. But they're teaching? Who are they teaching to? Who's stupid? Who's the idiots? I was like, all right, man, I'm now I know why I don't go out. And I was like, they teaching this shit? Because all I keep thinking about is boogie. I'm just party, man. I'm just, I couldn't put it together that they're in there, you know, like I, I couldn't put it together, you know. And I'm surprised Archie didn't ask you for me to tell the story about me, Maurice Hines, and Frank Hatchett. This is
Ooh,
way before.
tell
I'm
that
sorry.
story, please. Tell that story, please.
So when I'm at studio busting moves for the first 6 months, everybody keeps walking up to me. "Oh, where did you study dance? You dance so well." And I'm thinking to myself, oh. So with all the loud music, I just say, "Oh yeah, yeah," like that. And they're like, "Huh, what?" I'm like, because I was intimidated, just like I tell you with the music in the studios, like, "Yo, what key is it in?" And so I was like, I was like, "Damn, you know what I got to do? I got to find a dance school, go take 2, 3 classes. Then I can say I went there." I live in those black and white times when you watch the movies and the black guys can't get this and doing this, and at the end everything works out or something like that. I still had those thoughts. So I walked around Broadway. Broadway is 56. I looked up and it said Hines Hatchett, which is Maurice Hines and Frank Hatchett. Frank is Mr. Broadway, Mr. Pippin, Mr. all that jazz. He's the black Bob Fosse. So I'm like, shit, let me just go in here and see what the hell, because then I can't explain that to my brother and my pops, man. They'd be like, "You did what?" See, that's the same issue I had with Archie. Like, "You did what?" So I'm not going to go through that with my guys. That's not good. So I'm like, shit, Pops did his carnival thing in Haiti. You can't take that guy to a house party, man. He tear up the whole place, man. Everybody's busting their ass, man. He makes the ladies shakes them, they fall. He's like freaking Earl Campbell, bro. My older brother, forget it. George, this motherfucker just throw down. This guy just keep throwing down. He don't stop dancing, man. So I'm like, I don't need this school, class, whatever. I go in the elevator, door opens, boom. All these people walking around in leotards. And I'm like, shit, I look in the room, see the people doing their little thing, ballet or whatever they're doing, because everything was tap, jazz, ballet, modern. That's what it said on the sheet. Tap 1, tap 2, no, beginners, intermediate, professional. That's all they had. Everything was beginners, intermediate, professionals. I was like, what the hell? And I look and I'm like, okay, shit. Excuse me, you take a class? Oh, you pay whatever it was. I don't know, it might have been $7 a class or some shit like that. And you come in and you take a class. So I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, I got all that Fred Astaire shit, Gene Kelly, XYZ, but that's Hollywood. I'm like, okay. It didn't look like that in there. I'm like, shit. All right. I saw jazz. I'm like, okay, jazz. I always tell people I do jazz freestyle, because I got the Fred Astaire thing going and freestyle because I'm from Brooklyn. Then the next day, I come over there, got on my fucking Capizios, I got on my baggy pants, like I'm going to the loft, except it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you know, I go in there and everybody's like, they stand a certain way and look a certain way. I was like, man, this ain't right. So I go in the back, man, hanging by the window, man, got the leg up, do. I'm like the class clown, everybody's serious. And the one guy is in there, he's doing the warm up, stretch warm up. I was like, oh my God, they warm up. This is good. Interesting. I'm standing there. And then Frank Hatchett walks in. Everybody, the room lights up, bro. Lights up. And he walks in. He goes, okay. He starts doing his 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop, 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 pop. I was like, I'm in the back. Whoa. I ain't doing that. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And then he lines everybody up. They go across the room. Da, 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 da. No, I'm not doing that. Shit, I'm trying to hide, man. I'm in the back. I'm by the window. And everybody goes, and I'm like, the next guy looks at me. I'm like, no, go, please. Have at it, baby, go. And then Frank walks up to me. He's like, hey, man. I was like, oh, no, this ain't good. Let's go. Come on. I was like, no, it's okay. He goes, are you okay? Are you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Because he's trying to, put his hand on my shoulder. I was like, oh, no, now the next round, and the guys decide, come on. And I was like, oh, shit. Man, never felt so stupid in my life. I have, but I was like in 3rd grade. So this was like the second time, don't forget, I came to New York, I didn't speak no English. So, that must have been, you don't speak no English. So that PTSD kicked in, I was like, oh shit. So I'm going like left, right, left, like Jerry Lewis, man, like, dang, Bill, like that, Nutty Professor shit. And he's like, the whole class is like, oh, what is that? I was like, oh, okay, shit, somebody hide me, And then they kept doing stuff, and I'm like, I ain't doing that. He's like, come on. I was like, I'm like, no, I ain't doing it. So I think as a teacher way, he was trying to like encourage me, but I'm in gangster mode, man. I'm like, get away from me, bro. Yo, get away from me. And I did like 2 more rounds, very, very uncomfortable, everything, like literally. I felt like I was running through Manhattan naked, bro. And he's yelling at me. And at one point, he looks at me and he goes, where's your rhythm, man? I was like, don't just say that to me. Oh. After the class, everybody's happy and and whatever. And I walk over to him. I says, where do you get off telling me where's my rhythm? And he's like, oh, you speak? I was like, yeah, I speak. And he goes, well, let me tell you something again. The hand's like, oh, don't touch me, man. Don't fucking touch me. He's like, oh, so don't touch me, bro. And he goes, I don't know. You okay? Are you having a bad day? I'm like, well, kind of. Well, that 5, 6, 7, 8 bullshit of yours. And you're like, oh. I'm like, yeah. I dance at Studio 54. He's like, Studio 54? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no. This is a dance school. We're dancers here. I'm like, yeah, I know. I dance at Studio 54. I throw down, you know. And at that time, believe it or not, this is 1980, 81, 82. I said, I've been dancing 10 years. He was like, excuse me? He's like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, yeah. You're like, you what? You know, I was like, yeah. I go to the loft, you know, Paddock's garage, and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I was like, exactly. I was like, listen, I don't like the way you talk to me. You know, these other people, that's fine. I don't care. But you don't get to yell at me. You don't get to tell me where's my rhythm if I'm having a bad day. Tell you what, I'm going to come tomorrow. I'm looking at the schedule here. You got a class at 11. I want you to bring your ass here at 10:30. I'm going to tear this place apart. He's like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, yeah, we're going to skip the part about my dad and my brother because I don't want to bring them here. So I can just ruin this whole place, but just me and you tomorrow. He was like, I beg your pardon. I was like, 10:30, bro, tomorrow. I'm steamed up, bro. I'm like, I go home. I even called Mr. Archie. Yo, tomorrow I'm going to this dude dance school. I'm going to fuck shit up. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, yeah, man. I went this and that. He said, you did what? I was like, I'll let you know how it goes. Like, bravo. Mind you, by that time, we didn't know each other that well. I just called him to let him know. Like, yo, you don't mean you get down at the club, right? Okay. Some motherfucker told me I ain't got no rhythm. He's like, whoa, whoa. Somebody said that to you? I was like, yeah. But I'm gonna take care of it. He's like, I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. And I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I went and took a dance class. She said, you did what? Oh, bravo, you take dance class? What you take dance class for? Oh, don't tell your brother. Don't tell your father. I was like, it's different, mom. I'm like in Manhattan now. These guys, you know, Pop's got Haiti covered. George got the Haitians covered over here. And it looks like I'm making some noise in the studio. People keep asking me where I learned how to dance. And so you tell them you learned from your father and your brother. I was like, nah, I think they need something else. And she goes, oh, I don't know. That's not a good idea. Don't tell your father. Don't let your father. Don't tell your brother. No good. I was like, no, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I went through some records. Got like about 4 or 5 records. I remember I Can't Stand It. Probably be like a Roy Ayers. You know, I had a few, about 4. So I went. I'm steaming, bro. I didn't even sleep, man. I slept with the records on the floor, like with my hands on them, man. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go over there tomorrow. I'm gonna fucking tear this place apart. So I show up in the elevator when the elevator opens, you're right at the lobby. So I got there. I came out the elevator. As soon as I came out the elevator, I just turned around and stood right there. So when the door opens, whoever comes got to go around me. I'm just standing there like that. And the door opened, and my man was like this, like that. I'm like, yo, let's go. Let's go. He was like baffled, like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? No, it's like, do. Like, doesn't matter which room. No, let's do this one. Yesterday's room. That's the room you was yelling at me at, right? Yeah, we're gonna do it in this room. And we tear this one up first. He's like, he's in the days, bro. So already I got him. I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't think I was gonna be here. Okay, all right. So I walk out. I said, so anyway, yesterday I told you I've been dancing 10 years. You look at me like I was crazy. Then you yell at me, you tell me I ain't got no rhythm. And I told you, don't make me bring my dad and my brother here. And he was like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? I said, and you touch me. Never touch me, man. Don't fucking touch me. I don't like nobody touching me. He said, you can't go right there. I see everybody run up to you. I don't play that shit. Don't fucking touch me. So I says, this is some of the stuff that they play at the loft, at the garage, you know, Studio 54, Barnes International. He's like, okay, where are we going with this? You know, he's like this. Where are we going with this? I walk over to the turntable. I put down. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. You can't stand it. That's Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, by the way. You can't stand it. I put this shit on. I'm standing in the middle of the room, and I start doing my father's shit. I'm grooving and moving, ha ha, ha ha ha. I said, you see me doing any fucking 5, 6, 7, 8? Do you? Ha ha. I don't do 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't matter to me. I jump in the air, boom, boom. I run around like a circle. I start doing my brother's stuff, then Pierre's stuff. I'm doing everybody's stuff. I'm like, ha ha ha. And I'm talking. I said, yo, man, you don't teach this shit here? No, 5, 6, 7, 8. I run around. I look at him like, hey. Boom, boom, bam, slide, split, handstand, and I jump in front of him, boom. I said, don't ever fucking tell me I ain't got no rhythm, because I bring my father and my brother here. You will not have a school. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Why? Why? I said, that's it, bro. I needed to come over here, just tell somebody I study somewhere so I can just keep dancing my happy ass off doing what it is I do. But you, 5, 6, 7, 8, that shit don't mean nothing to me. And he's like, whoa. Now, to me and him talking like this, Maurice Hines, Gregory Hines' older brother, is walking by. This guy's go happy. Gentlemen, what's going on? Because he sees me like this with this one. Like, because nobody talks to Frank like that, bro. I'm like, yo, you know. And he goes, what's going on? I'm like, yo, man, I don't know what you guys run over here, but this guy told me I ain't got no rhythm. I tell him I've been dancing 10 years. Look at me, I ain't got no 2 heads. Mind you, I'm sweating, bro. I said, so I wanted to make sure I come over here and show him what I'd been doing for the last 10 years. And I tell him, don't make me bring my dad and my brother here. And he was like, well, look at that. Greg and I started like that. We just do our thing. You know, he gets into this whole normal conversation. And Frank said, well, you know, I have a friend of mine. He mentioned the name Sable. I don't know what that meant. I have a friend of mine. She's working on a piece, and I'd like for you to audition. I'm like, do I look like I want to audition to anything for you? I said, oh, you don't get it, bro. And so it had a you don't get it, I don't get it, you don't get it kind of thing. And I'm like, that's cool. So me and Maurice Hines, we want to become friends, chit-chatting a little bit. Hi, how you doing? XYZ. And he's like, oh man, you got a lot of energy. I like that. I like that. I like that. You got a lot of energy. And that wound up being what turned into Broadway dance. Because Frank Hatcher, that's where the Broadway dance stuff from. And back then, I 83, maybe 83. No street dance, no, everything was tap, jazz, modern, blah, blah, blah. Now you go over there, you tell me what that program says. Hip hop, house, vogue, whack, you know, the works, bro. So it just show you either I was way before my time or it just wasn't my time.